Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? I hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, today in this very musical video, we're going to look at John Carpenter's new release, brand new release, Anthology II. And we're going to do some mix and match, compare his remixed bits of music from his movies on this album to how they originally sounded. And I'm going to give some overview and we'll talk about them all. Of course, big John Carpenter, a demigod to me. Grew up with his movies, love his movies. I can be critical about certain things, of course, and about the way he sat back and just rested his lazy ass on his gaming chair and smoked 20 cigarettes at a time. And then sold off all the rights to all our favourite movies and his best characters to anybody. Oh, an occasional dabble in doing scoring for other movies. Most notably, of course, the Halloween Blumhouse trilogy, of which his scores are the best thing about that trilogy, and they are extraordinarily good. The score for Firestarter, the remake, that little tiny flicker of a CG flame that was the remake of Firestarter, as opposed to the real walls of fire in the original, which of course, ironically, John Carpenter was meant to direct that, but didn't. Instead, he took another Stephen King story book. He took Christine. Yeah, I did have to think then. Yeah, Christine. And Christine is an amazing movie. Wonderful performances, fantastic effects, and the score is, well, legendary, like all of John Carpenter's scores. And in later life, when he could drag himself away from his gaming chair, and his gamepad, game controller, whatever you call these things, all that kind of crap, he went back to making music, realised that I'm good at this shit, I know my limitations, I've got synthesizers, I've got keyboards, I've got mixing desks. I can work this shit out. And together with his son, Cody Carpenter, he was like some rocky guitar stuff, and Daniel Davis, son of one of the artists from the Kinks, for God's sake. And they went on tour. They did albums, the Lost Themes Volumes 1, 2, and 3, which are all ideas of movie themes which movies never existed, And it's great. The first two, I think, are wonderful. I think the third one is slightly lacking a little bit for me, just for me. But they went on tour. They did, I've seen them twice. I saw them on 2 consecutive nights when they toured the UK. I saw them in Liverpool, and then I saw them in Manchester. On the Friday night in Liverpool, the Saturday night in Manchester. Both times dressed in full Snake Plissken regalia. The entire thing. And I don't smoke, but I had a ciggy in my gob. I just thought, in honour of Carpenter, but also in honour of Plissken himself, there was a ciggy lodged there. I didn't light it. I can't fucking smoke, I ain't that hard, I destroy my liver, not my lungs. I destroy my liver with this stuff. You guys well know. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, John. And those gigs were great, fantastic stuff. And we await another tour. We want that. But what he's been doing as well. Okay, Suburban Screams. He directed that from the gaming chair and over Zoom. Oh, dear God. I'm not a fan of that. Directing from afar. No, that's John. That's not you. Come on, man. That's ultra lazy. I've said this before, but I still love him, no matter how much he sells his soul, and he sells. If you can imagine, all his characters are digits on his hands and on his feet. He's got nothing left now. He's just down to stumps. He's sold the rights to pretty much everybody and every movie he's made for remakes and sequels and prequels, and he just it's money. It's all it is with Big JC. But his music is still phenomenal. and I still love the guy. And he did another album was called Anthology, and it was a bunch of remixes with Cody and Daniel Davis of the main themes of many of his movies. And that came out a few years ago. Anthology it was called. And I wasn't that fussed on it to begin with. I'll be perfectly honest with you. And but in the run-up to this album, Anthology II, that's Anthology II, like, you know, WWII, World War II. Anthology II, Anthology II. I started playing the first one a lot, and I gained a whole new love for it, because I thought, you know what, this actually works. These are nice alternatives to the original scores. So I was really looking forward to Anthology 2, which you're hearing bits of now. And what I'm going to do with this video, so long as the gods of YouTube and the copyright lords of the limbo allow it, I'm going to play pretty much each of these tracks, and I'll, if necessary, go back to the original tracks for a comparison effect. But yeah, so I regained a love, or found a new love, for Anthology Volume 1. And the thing about John Carpenter's stuff is, the music is such that DJs and programmers and everybody involved in, you know, just nightclubs and raves and that can do their own remixes and scratch and all that kind of shit, like. And the likes of Assault on Precinct 13, which is absolutely one of my favourite scores of all time, and its main theme, I've got to be honest, I've said this a lot, and I've done videos on this score alone. I've done videos on all of these scores, I think. Assault on Precinct 13 has just such the greatest main beat, main theme. It's so aggressive, it's so forceful, it's fat. And like, it's not a term I like, but it's totally applicable to this. Fat, not as in like, you know, Mr. Obesity. Fat, P-H-A-T, exclamation marks ad infinitum. Fat, it's fat. That beat is so infectious and so powerful that every DJ worth his salt, or her salt, or their salt, let's not forget about the non-binaries here, but they all have an attempt at it. Now, I've got every John Carpenter score, every John Carpenter bit of music he's ever done. I've got a hell of a lot on vinyl. I've got most on CD, and I've got a lot of downloads. And anyway, but I've also got a lot of other people having a go at doing John Carpenter stuff. And the likes of Assault on Precinct 13, I've heard some phenomenal remixes that other people have done, which are truly extraordinary. And wow, they work, and you know, they're never going to beat what the original thing is, because the original thing has the hook, not the thing. The original music has the hook, and someone, oh, I can work with this, do something different, and they can jazz it up, they can speed it up, they can slow it down, they can add other bits to it. But so long as you keep that momentum, that rhythm, and make it recognizable, but add your own little element to it, I'm on board. I might not like it, what you've done, but I admire having a go. I can't do nothing with this. I'm not musical at all. I know the orchestra, I know music, but I can't play anything at all. As our good friend Astrodyne, a traveller in time, Astrodyne sent me a bloody synthesizer, and I can't use the bloody thing. He sent me a synthesizer, and I was like, oh my god. I did a live unboxing on this, and like, oh my god, I was stunned. I am John Carpenter, but I couldn't do a damn thing with it because I couldn't make it play. I didn't realise you've got to plug it into a sound system. I just thought it was going to start playing stuff just out of its own speakers. Yeah, whoopsie daisy. But yeah, so Anthology 2. has just been released, and a couple of tracks did come out. What I love, Sacred Bones distribute, and they're the production company behind the John Carpenter musical franchise now. And Sacred Bones put out a couple of tracks, and I'd already heard them, and I thought, yeah, these sound pretty good. And we've got it now. This is the first one of the entire lot that I've not got physically, so I can't go like, I can't hold you like, there's Anthology II. It's on vinyl as well, on a blue vinyl, probably a limited edition. There's also a box set that they're doing of Anthology I, Anthology II in a box set with some of the little extra diddy bits and bobs in there. And but I'm unemployed now. You've got to remember that. I stopped working for, well, once was Queen and government. Now it's King and government. And the military. I stopped all that back in March this year, March 2023. Kilt-Man stopped working for anybody. Although, given current events in the world, I can imagine stepping back into certain roles, but we'll see about that. Where was I going with that? Just took off, didn't I, on a tangent there. Yeah, I have not bought the actual physical media of this album yet. I will do, just to complete the set, make it all look together, you know. But I did buy it on Amazon download, so this is not like pilfered from anything else. I bought this. So let's have a look at Anthology II, and it's called Movie Themes 1976 to 1988. So 76 would be Assault on Precinct 13, 88 is They Live. And it's a strange, almost random lineup. You take in, well, The Fog, Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Assault on Precinct 13, Prince of Darkness, The Thing, Escape from New York, and Big Trouble in Little China. You've got 14 tracks on it, but it comes to 37 minutes. That's not long for an album at all. It's a little bit, you know, kind of expected more. And I think, if I remember rightly, Lost Themes Volume 3 was a much shorter album as well. I may be wrong about that, but I can always check. They're all on here. Everything is on here. So anyway, let's have a look at what's on here. So this is the first track. I've timed that pretty well. Chariots of Pumpkins from Halloween 3. This is Tommy Lee Wallace directed Halloween 3. Nigel Neal, Quatermass Nigel Neal, Rocket Man, wrote this screenplay initially, but didn't like what the hell Carpenter was doing with it, and then got his name took off it, and the film changed immeasurably. And Carpenter gave some references to Nigel Neal, and it's a wonderful movie. I love Halloween 3. Let's not get into the whole thing about, it's not got Michael Myers in it. It wasn't meant to have Michael Myers in it. The marketing was wrong, and the title was wrong. I've talked about this. I've reviewed the movie, got all the masks. Now this, again, they're using new technology, new sound systems, far more updated sounds. But this sounds pretty good. What you might be getting right now as well, despite the limited ability of me to convey the sound in like any kind of 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, stereophonic or whatever, Atmos. Which, by the way, my recordings, I can record in Atmos as well, but that's never going to come across on your when you watch it back. Cheers, y'all. They sound, although I like this album, I'm going to say right now, some of these tracks sound very condensed. You might be using more updated machinery and technology, and you're doing like a slight remix enhancing certain things, subtracting other things. But for the most part, they maintain what the original track was. I can go back and forth. We'd be here all day if I do that, but I will do a couple of examples. But this album, although some tracks sound great, and I like the sort of revamped, rejigged version. Like, I love all these people on YouTube who've done these remixes. Some of them sound tremendous. Some of these sound, but they are only alternatives. The majority of this album, I've got to be honest, sounds condensed, and I hate to use the word tinny, but I'm going to use it. Tinny. It's smaller. When John Carpenter was doing his initial musical scores, and then with Alan Howarth on board as well, there was depth and breadth to what they were doing with the old analog systems. There was a lot more going on, especially when you get to the likes of the earlier ones sound much smaller and more condensed. Here we go. You had Chariots of the Pumpkins from Halloween 3 there. Here it is, the 69th Street Bridge from Escape from New York. This sounds good. It's clear, it's crisp. And this, of course, because you had Isaac Hayes playing the Duke of New York with a chandelier, laden Cadillac thundering across the 69th Street Bridge after the taxi, housing Snake and Cabby and Maggie and Brain and the President. Let's not forget him. So you had like a sort of Caribbean and soul sort of flavour. I said fat before, then it got flavour. Has got, in the original, really had it. And the stereophonics in the original mix, when you first got that vinyl and you got proper stereo speakers, wow. This still sounds good. This sounds good. The steel drums, it's an effect again, like it's a synthesized effect, but it sounds good. And the driving bass line is still really forthright. This one works. Sorry, if you can hear drilling outside, which I can. We've got someone cutting some masonry, so. But I can't tell him to stop, you know what I mean? See, this is different here. Boom! That's great. That's great. That's a track that I like on this. That's a nice updated remix which doesn't stray too far from the original. Until here. There is an element which he does not is able to replicate on these scores. Okay, we're going on to the Alley War from Big Trouble in Little China. Jack Burton. This is where they get stuck. The Pork Chop Express gets stuck in the alleyway, and two rival, gangs go to war, and then the Storms arrive as well with all their lightning shows and their fantastic weaponry and their big silly sort of wickerwork hats. They've got like flower baskets on their heads, but don't take the piss out of them, because these guys will slice and dice you and fire strange ping pong balls into you, which will break your ribs. You can hear it or not, I can hear the drilling going on. Grinding. Now, Big Trouble in Little China marked a real change in the scoring that John Carpenter was able to do. They've got far more advanced technology and machines and what have you, and there were multiple layers. If you compare Big Trouble in Little China to the likes of Halloween or Escape from New York, and wow, you know, the difference is exponential. It's huge because there's so many different elements to it, mixed so well. And after Big Trouble in Little China, they went, well, the likes of Prince of Darkness and They Live went even further. Prince of Darkness, I would say, it's not a favourite of mine movie-wise. I've discussed it before. There's many elements which don't work for me. But the score is extraordinary. It's really ominous. It's beautifully put together. And it has literally, you know, imagine the poster for Jaws. You've got Susan Batley, you know, just luxuriating in the surf, you know, oh, just swim out here. And that primordial great white's coming up. Well, if you gauge that sort of coming all the way down the screen there, and the length, it's a 20-footer, 25, 3 tons of him. You know, the length of that shark and the distance between the shark's gob and her luscious magical bits in a little bikini. Oh no, she's not wearing a bikini, she's nude. All that distance there are elements of music being put into a track. That's what he did with Prince of Darkness, because there's so many elements in there. And of course, now we've got They Live, which is 1988. I'm playing this in order, by the way. You've got this sort of laconic, there's a western twang to it. It's really catchy. And it's dead simplistic, ultra minimal. So it's these other elements which sound different, which do shape the sound of the track in different ways. It sounds clearer, it sounds, you know, more crystalline. And in some cases a bit warmer, a bit softer. It loses the angular, sort of like, you know, piercing, old analog style. Almost like it's a bit more polished, a bit more smoothed down. Not a bad thing in some cases. Gotta remember, folks, these are alternatives. You've got to view them as alternative tracks. It's like I said before about all the people on YouTube and other DJs that remix Carpenter's stuff, and some are great, some are naff, but some are extraordinarily fabulous. Take it in a whole new sort of dance craze sort of mode, which I think works with this. Carpenter at base level is providing a beat which can be used for anything. The trance, rave, you know, garage, as we say in the UK, you know, garage, you know, whatever. And all types of music can be adapted from these very minimalist and quite emphatic, severe beats. See, that's different, isn't it? This sort of echoing glacial element, which you're either gonna like or you're not gonna like. It's not in the original. Not like that. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. But it's different. So if you fancy it, you know, this is the point of these albums, I suppose, is that you've got, if you're a fan of John Carpenter, you've got all this music anyway. So you've got the originals, you go back to them whenever you want to. But for a little alternative, perfect. And these are from the man himself, rather than someone else, you know, who's just a DJ or a sound mixer or whatever. Julie's Julie's Dead from Assault on Precinct 13. Interestingly about this Anthology 2 is that he's playing he's got all the softest tracks, the most gentle sort of, I don't know, soulful and spiritually moving, softer, slower tracks. Because he's got not only this, he's got Walk to the Lighthouse from The Fog. He's got, what else is it? Oh, well, there's a few from The Thing, which, okay, we'll go into those in a bit. But Julie's Dead and Walk to the Lighthouse are his two most, people they call them beautiful, and I suppose they are. But how simple is this? Listen. That fucking drill going on. After the pulsating beat of all the attacks and battle and main gang theme and the Assault on Precinct 13 theme and the Napoleon Wilson theme, this is a great, beautiful antidote. And it is genuinely sad. And this does capture the original. It just sounds a bit... It sounds cocooned, does it not? The original... Oh god. Well, I'm gonna shut these doors to try and drown some of that crap out. But this is The Shape Enters Laurie's Room from Halloween 2. It'll start. Now this one, I don't like. This sounds completely different from the original. That's nice. That's got a cathedral organ effect to it, which I don't mind. It just sounds swamped. It sounds flattened down, not fattened down. And you've got another track from Halloween 2, which is by far the worst. So there's a yin and yang to this. Too much more of a... What's my hair doing? See, I know you guys are looking at me, but I can see myself on this, and it looks like there's a fucking big tarantula sitting on my head, because all these bits suddenly rise up like legs. You know, look at it. It is like tarantula. Oh god, that just scared the shit out of myself then. That looked too convincing. Here's the main title of Halloween 3. That sounds great, doesn't it? Does it sound too different from the original? No. So what have you really done with it? This is the thing about doing these albums. Unless you're gonna do something completely different and abstract and wild, do them with rock guitars and bongos or whatever. And of course, John Carpenter started off with bongos. His dad was a jazz musician, and he taught him 5/4 rhythm on the bongos, and of course the 5/4 rhythm is what Halloween main theme is created from the bongos. Now what I should do, what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to try to, we'll be here all day if we're going to do all this. I'm going to play a few more of these, and then we'll do the mix and match and see what you think, because there's definitely differences, and I defy you to think that these versions are better than the originals. I'll say again right now, and I'll reaffirm this at the end. This is a great album, but make no mistake, it is not the originals. Even though it's by the guy that did the originals, that composed them, and is doing a sort of remixed version. Just making money, that's all he's doing really. But it's a nice alternative on a little enclosed package if you've got the vinyl or the CD or whatever, or it's just there on your download. This is Prince of Darkness, Love at a Distance. Now, I said to you before, Big Trouble in Little China and Prince of Darkness and They Live are the most massively nuanced and highly densely textured, with lots of different layers of sound mixed in brilliantly. On the score, not here. This sounds really hollow, caved out, excavated and flat. There's a bit of guitar there to add a bit of sort of oomph to it. But the actual synth and the sound, the overall sound, is really, really lacking. It's like the soul has been eradicated. There is no depth to this at all. Whereas you listen to this, I'll do this again. I'll play the. Should I do it now? Oh fuck it, let's do it now. It builds up again, but let's just. So you've got the synthesized choral. Let's go on to the original. I'll find it. You would think it'd be easy to find, yeah. The only difference really is like here's the original. Obviously done in association with Alan Howarth. This is how you. When Alan Howarth did these albums for the likes of The Fog and Halloween 2 and They Live and this and The Thing, he went back to the original machines, or machines that emulated the sound of those, and recreated it pretty much perfectly. This is how it sounds in the movie, folks. This is how it sounds in the movie. There's a spatiality to that, which is lacking in that remix version. Hang on, where's the boom, 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 boom? Do you know what? I've got a feeling what he's done on the remix album, Anthology II, the track Love at a Distance, he's took the first bit, which you just heard there, but it's the he's combined it with oh, Kilt-Man, why did you pick this track to go and do the comparison with? Because what he's done on the Anthology album too is combined Love at a Distance with the main sort of theme. Let's see if we can find. Is it this? Well, yeah, it is. This is Hell Breaks Loose. It sounds different. Even though it's synthesized, it sounds more organic compared to the remixed version, because even though there's only two of them working on the original one, and now you've got like Carpenter on his keyboard, Daniel Davis doing what he does, and Cody Carpenter on the guitar, you know, that sounds smaller. It's a smaller ensemble compared to what two guys did in a little living room studio with lots of mixing desks. They came up with far better stuff back then than what they're doing right now, adding in the sort of live guitar element. I'm just trying to find, because that track, that and even the sort of ghostly, ethereal, synthesized vocalizations sound better, and the rushing sort of sounds better there than it does on the revamped version. Yeah. Yeah, this is still the original album. The Alan Howarth, John Carpenter remixed, well, not remixed, full score for Prince of Darkness. Anyway, so we're back on Anthology II. So let's go to. Now this, gotta be honest, this is from Halloween 2, and it's the Shape Stalks Again. Okay. And this is Halloween 2. Rick Rosenthal directed it. The whole sibling thing. Oh look, let's not go. We don't care about any of that shit now. Carpenter went in and did all the extra gore effects and created the sibling thing to kill off the Michael Myers franchise altogether. Didn't want not more to do with it, but. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds shit to me. And you've got like Will Smith there, getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with it. Listen. Even that bass beat it goes nowhere. It's soft, isn't it? Bum 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 bum. Getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with it. The original does not sound like that. We'll play it in a second. I love this track ordinarily, but I do not like this one. This revamped, remixed version. The getting jiggy with it version. Because you've lost that clinical edge to it. What I love about the Halloween 2 score is it's the Halloween score, but massively injected with synth and given this glistening edge. I've always said this, almost like a scalpel or like a needle going in which of course they're both used by Michael. I don't know about you guys, but in the film and on the album, the full score, you're getting this, oh my god, you're building up. I'm not sensing any sort of, it's not fat, it's flat. That's crap. I don't like that one at all. Let's go on to Halloween 2. You've just heard that now. Pause that a second. You just heard that. Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. Well, let's go on to the original, shall we? The Shape Stalks again. This is the same track. This is from the anniversary 30th anniversary edition of Halloween 2 from John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. Although it's mainly Alan Howarth who's done these things, but he's done them fucking spot on. And I clicked too much. Nothing happened. Listen. Piano. Listen to that. That's fucking awesome. It's up there. It's making your fucking skin crawl. And then you bring this lower level down. And boom. Do you hear it? Boom, boom. There's a difference. The way it's mixed together. Those sort of big bass. Boom, boom, boom. On the other one, they sounded really small. Just like someone's got they've just boiled an egg, hard boiled an egg, and they're going like boom, boom, boom. That's how it sounded on the remixed Anthology II version. You've got a boom, boom, boom. They did not replicate that at all. That's searing. It's very clinical. It's very sort of a medical room, an emergency room. All machinery and like everything glistens and it's all sharp. And even the old version of that sort of gas escaping, because like you got Loomis, you know, like turning on all the oxygen. It's time, Michael. Now that is how it sounds there. How is it? Translates back. Shit. To fucking hell. This is where editing comes in. How does that become? They drop it down from to getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with it, getting jiggy with it. Listen! And someone's scraping a pan lid there. Getting jiggy with it. No, I'm afraid that doesn't work for me. The Shape Stalks again on Anthology II is a bad one, and I'm afraid we get some more bad ones now. You now get the lineup is a bit strange on this. It's very sort of random in a way. Anthology 1 did the main themes. This one does other tracks, although it has got the title track from Halloween 3. This is Burn It from The Thing, followed by Fuchs from The Thing, followed by To Max Shack from The Thing. And these are all tracks that Ennio Morricone did not do. These are tracks that John Carpenter did to augment what he took from Morricone's score. Now, and they are very dense textural elements. And they sound shit on this. They have got no depth, no sonorance, they have no real sense of atmosphere. They're very flat. The Stinger. The John Carpenter Stinger. And that's okay, that's alright, that. Does sound polished and again sort of dulled down in a way compared to the shrillness on the original. But it's just this dense, atmospheric, textural element. He kind of makes it more cathedral-like. But to me, it doesn't work at all. And you can tell, like, Cody Carpenter is like, can I come in with the guitar? Can I just go bwang, you know, no, you can't. Not for this. Shall we play the original? Right, let's just see how different that sounds. Let's pause that again so you don't get confused. Oh, shit. Got to streamline this. The finger movement on the mouse. Okay. What was that? Oh, Burn It on it. Okay, this is the original. As redone by Alan Howarth, but using the old equipment. You can't hear the drill going now, the grinder going now, but you can hear the fucking fridge freezer going. I'm adding my own sound effects to this thing. Listen to that. That's gorgeous. You did not get that on that rejigged version. And it's film accurate. Now, I know the key point of the anthology albums is their remixes. But the whole thing about remixes is like, yeah, they're great, but do they compare to originals? And 99.999% of the time, no, they do not. Much better. Oh, it's got that. Don't forget, like, this came out 82, but it does recapture the wah wah sound of the 70s. So it's like, that's gorgeous, that, in a full on creepy sort of way. The soaring bit, and there's an undercurrent as well, which work. Almost like, you know, an iceberg, you know, there's only a certain amount above the surface, but so much more beneath. But you're like, oh my god, the towering spire of ice, glaciers and all that, like, there's so much more. That worked brilliantly. That's way better. Let's go back. Oh god. The back button on this, it's not taking me back to what I was just playing before. as in Anthology II. Okay, so what's next? Oh, I thought, fucking hell, where is it? It's Fuchs from the thing. And this is, oh, this is shit. Fuchs, you know, one of the scientists there at Outpost 31, he's sitting there and he's making little notes. The lights go out and like, oh god, opens his drawer, he gets a flare out. Well, he gets a lighter out. Is it a lighter or a candle? God, all of a sudden I can't remember now. But he manages to light his way around the darkened room, and a big dark shape just hurtles past the doorway, and he jumps, and you get a John Carpenter stinger, which you're going to hear. And he goes out into the ice after it, lights a flare, puts his palm out, lights a flare. But you don't see what happens to him. Part of the mystery of the movie. So it's textural, sort of dense ambience, but you will get the stinger. I don't know about you guys, but that's annoying the hell out of me, that. It'll come up again. That's massively brought in there. What the hell is that? That is the stinger. When the thing goes, he's got the little light. Like, who's there? That was that, and that sounded fucking awful. This is where he goes out. This is part when he goes out, and he's like, and wanders off, and like then you only find, is it Fuchs? And there's a burnt up body in the ice, and the glasses. And they pick up the little crispy glasses. But then you'll get the next track. Well, anyway, before we go on to that, because it follows on directly, let's go on to how that should sound on the original The Thing. Okay. And they run the same length. Yeah. This sounds the same. I mean, I know, you know, you'd have to like, well, play them back yourselves, which I'm sure you can, because I'm sure most of you guys have got all these tracks and albums and soundtracks anyway. That's more simplistic, that. More plaintive, more emphatic, I would say. And these are the bits that John Carpenter and Alan Howarth did initially back in the day to augment and fill in the gaps from Morricone's score. But you get the stinger. John Carpenter's stingers are hugely impressive and part of the iconography of the Carpenter style. Visually, shock-wise, you know, something suddenly looms up on the screen, and musically he accompanies it with the great embellished stingers, which are wonderful. Kind of art form in their own right. Jump scares are a tenner penny, but you've got to make them work, and Carpenter could do that. That is the original sound from the movie, but done by Alan Howarth, and that's exactly the same as what it should be. Compare that to that fucking, what the hell was that? What the hell was the version on Anthology II? It was fucking shit. Right now, the very next track is the next one from the Thing album, and The Thing full score. which is To Mac's Shack. You go inside. Tell us we found Fuchs. Where are we going? Up to my shack. What the hell for? Because when I left yesterday, I turned the lights off. And McCready's shack took the lights on. And this is the next track. To Mac's Shack from the thing. The fuck was that? Let's play that again. That's horrid. It sounds amateur. It sounds like just the most simplistic of technology. Casio keyboard. That's bad. How is it? It sounded so much better with the older equipment than what you're doing now. And why are you doing this? God, that's bad. I don't know if you can hear what I'm talking about. They sound so empty and it's just someone sitting in a room on their own. There's no massive amounts of like reverb or depth or density or texture to this. It's really just what? Any kid could do that? Well, obviously not me, because I got a synthesizer from Astrodyne and I couldn't even plug the fucking thing in. And what makes this worse is it's Carpenter doing the tracks that he did to augment Morricone's score, which sounded great in the movie and on the original, well, the full score to the thing with the Carpenter tracks in there as well. But why does it sound so shit on this? That's awful. This is him and Knowles going up to Mac's shack. Folks, that's crap. So that's awful. Boom, boom. It's so empty. It's so shallow. So let's go back to the original again. Well, say the original. This is Alan Howarth's version of the thing, which does replicate and imitates him perfectly, from the thing. And this is spot on. Those glacial tones and like angular sort of, elongated just notes. And embellished, cushioned by yet more, buffets of snow and ice musically. How the hell does that remixed version compare to this? It just doesn't, does it? I know it's not a hugely musical piece of, of music, but he's put it on this album. He's created this album. He's put together this slew. I told you to say it again. This slew of tracks. And I can see what he's done here. I'm like, oh look, these are my pieces of music which I did for the thing, and Alan Howarth brought out that album which I have some, dealings with, but this is, now I'm going to put out my remixed versions of what I created and composed and designed for that movie. But, sorry John, your versions on this Anthology 2 do not sound anywhere near as good now. They don't. This is the original again. And that accused sonorance, that cadence, sort of, you can feel the depth to it. It does seem to stretch out beyond like a cavern of ice and out across the glaciers. It does seem to do that. And the build, the revamped version has none of that. It sounds really flat and empty and just, Christ. That was just a bowled out, boulderized version. So, and once again, the back button has not took me back as it should do. So what have we got now? Oh, see now this one again. See what he's done. He's got a huge portion here of the album. There's 14 tracks, and then from the Shape Stalks again, which is track 9, which I don't think is anywhere near as good as it should be. You then go the 3 tracks from The Thing, Burn It, Fuchs to Max Shack, all of which are nowhere near as good. And then you come on to one of my favourite pieces of music from Carpenter, which is Walk to the Lighthouse. Oh shit, hang on. From The Fog. You can tell what it is, but can you see what I mean about how smaller it sounds? Yes, it's reaching higher, and it's kind of like, I don't know, is it clearer? It's warmer. There's more sort of, echoey reverb to it. And this guitar there, a bass guitar is coming along with that. Why do you need that? It doesn't add a damn thing. Adrian Barbeau going down to the lighthouse, Port Reyes Lighthouse, the place where I want to move to, as I've said so many times. That guitar element doesn't work. Doom, doom. It bores it down. Doom, doom, boom. It's losing that stretch of the ocean. That isolation of the place, the wind howling across the high cliff meadows, those endless steps going down. It's the doom, doom. It's softened everything. It's shortened it. It's softened it. It's drowned it. It's made it very, almost childish. Do I not half sound like I'm taking a piss out of this and knocking it back? Yeah, I do, don't I? But that's bad. That's bad. Let's go on to the original. Come on, let's do that. Shut up. No, see, we got that to come. Let's go on to the fog. Oh God. Now that, I know for a fact on this system, puts it in the wrong place. Walk the Lighthouse, right? Okay. Now I've got the original soundtrack on vinyl, and I've got it on original CD, and I've got 2 versions on this. But let's go to the Alan Howarth sort of full revamped version, and it does sound like it does in the movie. Now listen to that. It's more singular, and the reverb is separated. I don't know what the musical terms would be, but the line, the trajectory, and the fall off with the echo is far better achieved. It stretches, and it's so, I don't know, eerily glistening. And you get the feeling of isolation perfectly well. Why is E.T. here? Oh, God. Fucking hair. Why is E.T. here? Because E.T. destroyed The Thing at the box office in 1982. Everyone flocked towards this fucking glowing-fingered bastard who just wants his phone call. Great film. Fuck you for what you did. But, remember, like, the reason why The Thing is now the masterpiece that it is because people have learned from home video, and critics have re-evaluated what they said many times over in the past. It's a travesty. All the cast are indivisible from each other. No one cares. It's repugnant. It's nasty. It's just... And now, oh no, it's a masterpiece of paranoia and suspense. Great character development, and wonderfully scripted, and a great mystery paranoia drama. But E.T. fucked it all up. So, I mean, as I'm saying, like, maybe The Thing wouldn't be the masterpiece that many of you younger people view it as now, but you didn't know at the time. Well, I was there at the time, and I saw it at the time, and I loved it from the time, from 82, when I saw the movie, and I massively bigged it up, revered it, and yet no one else seemed to give 2 shits about it. Oh, and then a few years afterwards, have you seen The Thing? And I'm like, do you mean that movie set in Antarctica, where Kurt Russell with a big mountain man beard finds a horrible alien shape-shifting entity under the ice, and a husky dog in it, and like they go, yeah, and the head tests itself and becomes a spider thing, like yeah, that one, yeah, the film I told you about fucking years ago. Did you? Yeah, I banged on about it, and like now you make it as a fucking masterpiece, and that's symptomatic of the way it went. But I'm not grieving about this, because it made the film the groundswell masterpiece, like Blade Runner. Like many other movies, they find their new lease of life with an audience after the event. Some films are ahead of their time, of course. So let's go back onto Anthology II. There's a fog stinger, almost like you just spiked, a fucking, a pipe, and the steam's coming out. Okay, so we're on to Laurie's theme from Halloween. Now this one, because Halloween was on piano, you forget that. Halloween 2 brought in the synthesizer. There was synth on Halloween, but he played the main theme, and certainly this on piano, John Carpenter. That sounds nice. I like that. That's super high and glistening. That's scintillating. Why does you bring in the lower elements, the baser elements, and they don't sound anywhere near as emphatic. That's all right. That's good. That's good. That works. But some of the bass elements, the deeper notes, deeper chords, aren't as effective. That works alright. I mean, this is Haunted House. This is the Myers house. That doesn't sound too bad. It does sound revamped, remixed, remodulated. Is that the term used? And it does sound piano. I've got a feeling that maybe he is playing the piano here, Carpenter. It's not synthesized, he's playing the piano. That does sound like a piano, not like a sampled version. And there we're done, folks. That is Anthology II. 14 tracks, lasting 37 minutes. This is the first track again. Chariots of Pumpkins from Halloween 3. Okay, turn it down. Now, I recommend it. I do. Because if you're John Carpenter aficionado, John Carpenter fan, you're going to get it. You're going to want to have it. Of course you are. There's no question about it. You're going to get this. Is it actually genuinely worth it? Well, yeah, it is. I like this version of Chariots of the Pumpkins. Did we cover this properly? Did we discuss this one? This does sound like a cleaner, more polished version of the original. But it doesn't do anything stupidly different, I don't think. You do get a couple blares and flashes of sound, but I think they sound alright in this. And 69th Street Bridge from Escape from New York sounds okay. Alley War sounds okay. Wake Up from They Live sounds fine. Julie's Dead's great. Oh, and then you enter Problems. Shape Ender's Laurie's Room from Halloween 2. The Season of Witch main theme is okay. Love at Distance from Prince of Darkness is, it puts a couple of different things in there. It's a hodgepodge, that. The Shape Stalks again from Halloween 2. No. And then you get the 3 from The Thing, which no, they lose it. Walk to the Lighthouse. Do you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shit. 6 out of 14 tracks. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 14 sound worthy to play aside from the originals, as an alternative. Because nothing, a bit of Sinead O'Connor, nothing compares to you. Nothing compares to the originals. Nothing. They're the best. And whether they are the original soundtracks from John Carpenter putting the soundtrack out there, or whether it's the Alan Howarth sort of remixed, remastered versions, but they sound fucking spot on. So you can't argue with those. Do these tracks shape up with those? No, not at all. No, not at all. And you can look at the weirdness of the random effect of the tracks put onto this. The title is Movie Themes 76 to 89. Well, none of these are movie themes. They're just tracks from the score. No, I'm nitpicking now, aren't I? It's great to have these things, but oh, you've got the main theme of Season of the Witch, yeah, Halloween 3. Yeah, you got that. Sorry. I apologise. And the rest are kind of like a weird hodgepodge. It's just like they've just sitting there and like having a few bifters and maybe a couple of whiskies and a few shots. Well, what should we do next? Well, let's do the Shape Enters Laurie's Room. I always like that one. See, I like this version, but again, it's very sort of like living room style. Given his ability with technology and creating music, and given the people around him that are helping him as well, his son and Daniel Davis and all that. I kind of, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna remix these, do it bring it out, or do a completely different version and give it a twang, give it a different slant, do something different. These follow far too closely what the originals are, and yet don't sound as good. Wow. I think I started this video off like bigging this up, and now I've slated it. But I can't understand why you would play this at all. Yeah, no, I'll be painfully honest now. Why would you play this if you've got all the original scores? If you haven't got the original scores, yeah, and you buy this, oh, there's an Anthology Volume 1. Bingo. I've got a smorgasbord of, or a slew of John Carpenter tracks to play from a load of his movies. And that'll do me. If that's the way you feel, fine. They're not the originals, and they're not better than the originals. And the original soundtracks sound amazing, even today. Even I've got the original Halloween and The Fog and Salt and Precinct 13 and Escape from New York. In fact, and The Thing. Totally unremastered and unremixed, and they still sound amazing. They were groundbreakers, and along with the likes of Tangerine Dream and Kraftwerk and Goblin, using synthetics and all that, like Carpenter was an absolute pioneer for movie scoring using this technology, and nothing, again, Sinead O'Connor, nothing compares to the scores that he created. But he's now, I would say, John, just create new stuff. Don't leave it to the YouTubers and the other bloody, DJs and that, like, to remix your stuff, because you clearly don't give two tosses if anyone does. So let them do that. You create more new music. You can play these versions on stage at concerts, at gigs around the world, and we'll all lap it up, because it's, on stage it's different. It always sounds different on a stage, live performances, even if half of that is fucking just keyboards and shit like that. But it's a different environment, different experience. Getting an album of music from movies especially, well, it goes across the board, depending on what band you're into or what kind of genre of music. But I think in a way of music, it's even if it's synthesized, it's orchestrally and symphonically created, because it's composed. But Carpenter managed to bridge that with having riffs and all sorts of, weird sort of melodic elements to it, and a pure sort of rocky, sort of almost pop sort of beat to a lot of these things, but really built it all up with other elements and stingers. You know, a live environment is a different thing. Hearing the scores themselves on their own is the essential way to enjoy these movie scores. The way they were meant to be heard in the movie. That's what we all love and crave. So revamping these things, you haven't done anything spectacularly different, and all you've done really that's different is dampen it down and soften it. You've took the edge off all of your stingers and all of the, you know, the main emphasis of the music. You've softened it all down. You've made it more palatable. When originally it was like, wow, this is like, Christ, listen to this beat, and like the stingers come up, wow, Jesus Christ. They're too cloaked now, I think. Right, fuck it. While we're still on. And by the way, I've got every suspicion that this video won't go on, because I've been playing all of this and then going through it with a fine-tooth comb. The YouTube gods of copyright will fucking come down. Although I've played tons of Carpenter's stuff and Sacred Bones stuff, so it shouldn't be an issue, really. But who knows? Where the fuck am I going with this? Oh God. Right, okay, what I'll do, I'll show you. Okay, here's the original main title to Assault on Precinct 13, which is just unbelievable. The soundbar isn't wobbling there. That's how it sounds when I play it on the full sound system with all the speakers on. It sounds the same, just bigger and better, you know. This is the original soundtrack now. Assault on Precinct 13. And this is the beat that so many DJs have took to their heart and done their own versions of. And I've played it a lot on the channel. See, Carpenter could do this. How simple and minimal is this? And it just like, it dips. Only a microscopic dip in aural qualities. But it makes that emotional connection. This is fucking phenomenal, this. God almighty. It's hard. It's aggressive. Oh, listen to that. It wobbles. And it ends in this gorgeous sort of like reeds, bamboo reeds being knocked with like, I don't know, an arrow. Okay, well, that was the original version. Okay, so let's have a little look, a little listen to Alan Howarth's revamped version, which does really put it on steroids a bit. But this is how a revamp should work. It's sharper, it's clearer, but the sounds are the same. You still got the reeds, the bamboo reeds getting smacked by that arrowhead. You've still got the depth there. It's still sharp and direct. And the rhythm is totally, on point. Again, folks, it's all in the ear of the listener. Whatever you like, you like. Okay, that is subdued on this version compared to Carpenter's original. And yeah, I still love this version. And it's important to note that Alan Howarth went back to the original machines and synthesizers and emulators to capture that sound from the 70s for this. That fucking angle grinder is still going out there. It's just... gorgeous, isn't it? What was I saying about the Halloween on Anthology II and the getting jiggy with it? Getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. Well, folks, the getting jiggy with it riff, it did start a long time ago. My God, what have we uncovered here? It's like in The Omen, when they crack open the graves, and like, oh my God, there was the mother. It was a jackal. What's in this grave here? It was my son, my stillborn son. He wasn't stillborn. They smashed a hole in his skull. And the mother was a jackal of the son that I've got. We made a huge revelation here. Getting jiggy with it was always there. It is Julie. Oh, hang on. No. This is like Julie's death, and I think let's go back and have a look at Anthology II. It's called Julie's Dead. Right now. On the revamped Assault on Precinct 13, it's just called Julie. Now, let's have a little look. On the original, it's just called Julie. So where's this fucking Julie's Dead come from? I didn't realise that. On Anthology 2, it's called Julie's Dead because they just discovered after the gangs have took out every window and shot through the entire place in a wonderful scene, which First Blood tries to replicate a little bit, but in Assault on Precinct 13, it's genuinely creepy and really arty in a strange kind of way, and they shoot. And the windows finally go through, and papers get on the desk, and then the last shot, poof, takes out a notepad or whatever it does, like, and then the big gun battle that they have there. Julie gets killed. Laurie Zimmer, is it Laurie Zimmer? No, hang on a minute. She's in Halloween, yeah. Oh, I forgot her name now. Doesn't matter. She gets killed. But it's just called Julie on the original soundtrack and Julie on the revamped Alan Howarth version. But on the Anthology 2, it's called Julie's Dead. That does sound very, very 70s. The way it's got that sort of like reflective sort of reverb going on. The windows! That's not a plug for Thomas Waits playing Windows in The Thing. Reach somebody? Yeah. We're 1,000 miles from nowhere, man. And you want me to reach somebody? Well, stick to it, Windows. Stick to it. This is the gang attacking. Fat. Wow. Folks, I apologise. This has gone on for longer. It was just reviewing Anthology 2. But I'm still here because I'm playing this and I'm drinking whiskey. What more do you expect from Kilt-Man? This track, by the way, as well as the main theme and the theme for Napoleon Wilson, which is a variation on the main theme anyway, they're good strut music, going down the streets, going in. Because I go into pubs and clubs with my own earphones on. Kilt-Man, everyone fucking knows me anyway. I walk in anywhere, and like sometimes with the dog as well, like the husky, and like everyone just goes, like, they all know who I am. I've got my earphones in. If I want to talk to you, I take one earphone out. If I don't want to talk to you, I leave both earphones in and just look at you and go. And I go, what? Oh, do I want a whiskey? Oh yeah, a large whiskey, please. Yeah, cheers, mate. Oh, shut up. Fed up with this fucking Judy shit. Let's go back on Anthology 2. This is Chariots of Pumpkins from Halloween 3. This is the new one. This is Anthology 2. So, but the Assault on Precinct 13 music is a great strut music. You know, you walk down a fucking street. It's like, you can do it to this. This is Carpenter'S magic. It's great beat. It's a wonderful beat. So, do I recommend Anthology 2? Yeah, I do. Because if you're John Carpenter complete this, you've got to have it. If you have all his other albums and all his other soundtracks and his movies, of course you're going to get this. Don't be fucking stupid. Of course you are. Makes perfect sense. And there is good stuff there. But they are. You've got to remember this. They are alternatives. They're not replacing anything at all. They are just new versions of what you've heard before, and none of them are better. None are better. Some have an interesting angle to them, but most, a lot of them, I think on the 14 tracks, what did I do? 5 or 6 were really good, but some are really bad as well. So, but you're gonna get it. You know, this has been a celebration of playing John Carpenter music. So, why does that piece just rise up? Look at it. This fucking flimsy piece of shit. God almighty. Oh, and the master of hair is there, right here. You know. Does sound good, doesn't it? This is Chariots of Pumpkins. It's a wonderful title as well. Chariots of Pumpkins. Halloween 3 is still gaining new fans. Although it's weird when you go on forums and people talk about the Halloween movies, and there's always someone who goes like, "Oh, that shit-fest Halloween 3. Oh God!" And they really lambast it. It's a great movie. It's a wonderful standalone movie. We know it was massively badly marketed, the wrong title, and people just made assumptions that Michael Myers was going to be in there. Of course, Myers will be back. Carpenter, you know, you never meant to have this guy go on beyond the first movie. And really, should he have done? We all love Michael Myers, but fucking hell. Michael Myers this, Michael Myers that. There's certain people on YouTube who their channels are devoted to Michael Myers. And like they must have shit themselves after Halloween ends. And then finally they get, oh my God, he's coming back. Oh, they're doing videos like, you know, what it could be. Can we bring back this character? Can we bring that character? Can we do this? What's it going to be? Is it going to be a legacy sort of thing? Oh, maybe we can't bring him on back. So it's going to be about, Haddonfield has this myth of the bogeyman, and we get a whole new bunch of teenagers who talk about him, and suddenly you've done this shit before. Fucking stop with the Michael Myers. And I love Michael Myers, but I'm fucking sick of it. What new are you gonna do? Get a life, you fucking retards. Stop this shit now. Fucking dead. Fucking dead. Don't do any more. No, I love Michael Myers. I do. But really, do you expect anything great from a new Halloween with Michael Myers? It's just gonna be We've done it. We've done it for fucking decades now. Stop with it now. Create someone new. Create a new Halloween myth. Jesus Christ. But you fucking, oh God. There's certain people who just do my head in. Oh, where can we go with Michael Myers now? Well, yeah, Michael Myers and David Gordon Green, Blumhouse, fucking, I want to see a boogeyman. Oh yeah, a big boogeyman. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Fucking sick of it, I tell you. Fucking 3 past movies of. That's better. 3 past. Oh, it's Michael Myers with his fingers blown off. Yeah. 3 past Michael Myers movies have been fucking shit. So what do you expect anyone to do now? Even John Carpenter, who created him, doesn't want fucking nothing to. That's why he sold him off. Christ, I sold his ass down the river. I did a sequel. I wrote the sequel, Halloween 2, and brought in the sibling thing, which everybody hates. He did it on purpose. They fucking killed the whole thing off so we could do the Halloween franchise as an anthology year after year after year, or every other year. But no, people want, just the same old shit again. Oh, God. Well, this video transformed somewhat, did it not? And now we get the alley war. Let's go on to They Live. With Rowdy Roddy Piper. I'm going to tell you now, I got asked recently very recently, as in only yesterday I think it was, to appear as a wrestler in a documentary, in a flashback sequence. To the British Bulldog wrestler. I don't follow wrestling. I don't give two fucks about wrestling at all. But I got asked, could you appear in this playing the Ultimate Warrior? And I was like, well, I'm still like, what? I've done Taekwondo, I've done Shotokan, I've done numerous martial arts, but I've done boxing as well, but I've never wrestled. I'm like, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, I always get called Rowdy Roddy Piper when I'm out in this. I always get called that every day. Someone's like, Rowdy Roddy Piper, and I gave it loads, and because, well, the kiltage, the hairage, and the bit of the bulkage, but but the Ultimate Warrior, he doesn't wear I said well, Roddy Piper, I could do that, we've got the kilt, obviously. Oh, I saw you more as Ultimate Warrior. I didn't know who that was. I don't know wrestling. And I looked and I went, you fucking kidding me? Okay, the hair might be there, but he's in trunks. And fuck that. I haven't said no yet, actually. But can you imagine it? Would it get me into Hollywood, in tartan trunks? And this guy wore face paint as well, war paint, but kind of sort of Kiss style, jazzed up, sort of shiny shit. So I don't know about that. Anyway, folks, They Live. Wake up, don't obey. We're getting told all sorts, and the world is really bad at the moment. It's didn't want to do this in this video, but I've now took myself down this road. The Middle East, Israel, and Gaza. You guys know this, many years for military defence, many years with the military, active service, and seen a lot of shit. And I don't think I'm talking Serbia, the Croat War there, and Ukraine invasion by Russia, and the Gulf War 1 and 2, the War on Terror. Nothing, and I mean this, nothing compares to what's happening right now. Sinead O'Connor again, nothing compares to this. This is genuinely the brink. This escalates, which it will. It brings every nation into this. And I am genuinely unnerved and frightened by this, and I've never been frightened by anything before. But this one, this could spark, and it's not like nuclear. No, it's worse than that. It's stuff on the streets, it's uprisings, and that could spark off around the world. The Middle East, the entire map will change, and And the music really seems to go in tune with this. I will do videos on what's happening there. I've been watching it like a hawk. I know stuff behind the scenes. I've had people talking to me who are still working within this environment, and I know, God, a lot of horrible, some genuinely horrible things beyond what you've seen on the TV, way beyond, and the tactics behind it all, and the people who pulled the strings, Iran, and other states and countries who are involved in this, and the whole reason to drag Israel into committing mass atrocity, which they are doing now. Revenge is all well and good, and retribution is all well and good, but you must realise they did this on purpose to bring you in, to do that, to bring the rest of the Arab states unified against you, to drive you back into the sea. That's what they've done, and they've done it. The idiocy of many Western governments of backing one side but not looking after, or rather backing one side and giving aid to the other side, when the other side then destroys that side, and then you've got to give them more ammunition and then build up the funds to look after and rebuild them. The fuck are you doing? Western world, get your noses out and get your immigration sorted out. Stop allowing all of these people coming in left, right and centre to all the Western countries. When you've got there'll be a standing army, because when they get that call to arms, they will rise up. They're doing it now. They're doing it now on the streets of London, Manchester, Paris, Washington, Chicago. I don't know. Oh, what a fun way to end a video about John Carpenter's great music. John Carpenter talked many times about the end of the world. His Apocalypse trilogy. And Snake Plissken didn't give a fuck, you know. Snake Plissken took the world down a couple of times. Escape from New York, he consigned the world to nuclear oblivion and carried on World War III. And Escape from LA, Hawk 2. The Ayatollah Hawk 2. He took down the world back to the Stone Age with all that electromagnetic bullshit. But it's fucking bullshit, like, but if anyone could survive that, it'd be Snake. Folks, I'm sorry I brought in a bit of current stuff, but it's on my mind a lot, and this has been fun, but I can't ignore what's happening. I cannot, and what distresses me most of all is that people that I meet in the pubs and the streets are not paying attention to what's happening. No one's talking about it. Jesus Christ, you should be, because this could spark something way bigger, and the atrocities that have happened in Israel and in other places as well, you know, they could happen on your doorstep. You've got to be aware of what's going on right now, and how that little tiny, well, it's not a tiny fire, this conflagration will ignite not only the Middle East, but everybody from the Middle East or who are part of those religions around the world can then do. We all want peace. But the human race doesn't want peace. The human race as a species can't exist with itself. It can't. Don't fucking fool yourselves. It will not ever be at peace. It It'll take aliens to come down and deliver that proclamation. You know, if you don't calm yourselves down, we'll destroy you. And even that wouldn't unify the human race. We are designed from a DNA basis to despise what is not part of us. So we hate you because you look different. Your beard's different. Your skin's different. You know. We don't get along. We'll never get along. We'll wipe ourselves out. So on that note, have a good night. Please, in the meantime, this ever apocalyptic in between time, please keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all. And hopefully we're not a fucking angle grinder going and my hair doing this big tarantula fucking thing. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. There isn't that many blocks to cut down, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. But he might get this over his fucking head in a minute. See, human beings don't get along. You get pissed off with something. Violence is the only answer. Sometimes violence is the only answer. This is what people get wrong, you know. This is where society and civilization and laws and people who are like, oh no, the moderates don't understand. Sometimes someone needs a good kicking. They do. And their brother and their dad need a good kicking. Because you've got to sort it out. And somehow, through the process of the good kicking, they realise, shit, yeah, I was in the wrong, yeah, I did push too far, I deserve this. You've got to fight fire with fire. And oh dear, on a bigger scale, look what happens. But as I'm saying, that's us. It's in us. Don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. You know, oh no, I wouldn't, I couldn't hurt a fly. I couldn't do that. There's many people that aren't like that. But that doesn't stop you being abducted, as happened from Israel, where they targeted kids, women, mothers, families, old age pensioners, a Holocaust victim who's got to be in their late 90s. They targeted the most infirm and incapable people to make your heart bleed. And all the kids at the Supernova Festival as well. You know, don't care what anyone says. You know, the plight of the Palestinians is truly diabolical. Israel is no saint. Israel is no saint whatsoever. And what they're doing right now, it's wholesale slaughter of the Gaza. 2.5 million people in a little tiny fucking little, it's like Blackpool in Britain. It's like a fucking little stretch of beach and massive conurbation. They're destroying that because Hamas took over 100 kidnapped victims into where are we going with this? This shouldn't be part of this video, should it? This should be another video. But they've done this anyway, and so Israel rightly have gone in hard. But the problem is they've done that and subjugated the Palestinians for fucking decades. If you cut off political and all sorts of sanctions and political means of peace, and like repatriation and, you know, two-state society, if you cut all that away, what are they going to do? They're going to do the most despicable things. And Hamas, by the way, are terrorists. But they were voted in democratically. No, they fucking weren't. Because if you didn't vote for them, you'd be classed as a traitor. Have you seen the videos of the traitors that they dragged down the streets behind a cavalcade of motorbikes and they're dragging this poor bastard down the street. Oh, he was alive at the time. Didn't end up that way. That's what they do, because they're fucking barbarians. But that's Hamas, a terrorist group, whereas the Palestinian people themselves are not. They're not. But they're marginalised. And Israel is going to come in with a huge stamp of military might and force and pound the Gaza to rubble, as Netanyahu has said. What am I doing? Where am I going with this? This should be a separate video, but I'm on one now, so getting jiggy with it. Getting jiggy with it. It ain't good. But what they did on Saturday morning, what Hamas did, Hamas are terrorists. There's no two ways about it. Don't ever mistake this. Freedom fighters, my arse, they're terrorists. And what they've done, they did, that operation was exactly designed and months in the planning. Immaculate, fantastic strategy, unbelievable against the world's greatest intelligence service and impregnable wall of defence, and they beat that. Wow. With funds from and the Ayatollah, fucking whatever, little beady fucking twats. They did this and took those people because they knew it would have to inspire wrath from Israel. And when Israel would do this and go in pound, and kill, well, hundreds, it's definitely hundreds, but it will probably be thousands of civilians, that will unite everybody else in the Arab world to rise up against Israel. So you're going to get that now. And where does the Western world stand? On a precipice, because, as I said before, they're everywhere. Well, there you go. You've got angle grinders, you've got axes and fucking drills going on. You've got John Carpenter going on. You've got The Thing. You've got They Live. You've got all sorts going on. You've got me with Snake Plissken emblazoned upon his chest, and my rhetoric. If you stuck with this video, you went far beyond what you thought you were going to get. Please comment below, let me know. We're on the brink of something far more tragic, emphatic, and phenomenal in a bad way than we've ever been before. We've had world wars, we've had crusades, we've had all sorts, genocide, the Holocaust. The ramifications of this goes far beyond what we've ever had before. The Cuban Missile Crisis, Russia, China, North Korea, threats, Cold War. This is the thing which will potentially change everything, everywhere around the world. And it was done on purpose by a terrorist group. Whatever the reasons they had behind it, they did it on purpose to use the plight of the Palestinian people for their own ends. Good luck, y'all. Got a feeling you're going to need it. So please, keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. I'll be back with much more. Hopefully, well, this was meant to be just music, a music smorgasbord, a big celebration of John Carpenter, which it was. It wasn't a video I intended, because I can't help this, folks. I've been watching this unfold since day one. I was up at 6:30 on Saturday morning to do the video for Exorcist Believer. Another sour note, and but I made the mistake of watching TV, and suddenly, I've always preached don't watch the news, but I watched the news and I watched multiple channels. Al Jazeera is one you need to watch. Al Jazeera, because they put a platform out to both sides. I'll be honest, I think they're more pro-Palestinian, the way their coverage has been, but they are very sort of moderate in many ways, and they're better at reporting what's actually happening than the BBC or ITV, fucking whatever, or CNN. But you've got many other news channels which are showing things which no one else shows and giving opinions to people on the ground right there, and yeah, it's ultra shocking. I've seen the worst, what I thought was the worst of humanity, actually in my face. I've seen it. I've had to deal with it, but I've not. I don't know if maybe I'm sheltered last 20 or so years of sitting at a desk and being a big fucking pussy, but seeing the way the world's changed and not for the better. Maybe I've softened, and now I'm shocked to the core by the things that I've seen, and I don't know what to do anymore. I don't. I can only give advice, and that's like, you look after your own and you avoid places of events. I shouldn't say that. You avoid events, you avoid celebrations, you avoid anywhere where there's big congregations of people. There's going to be targets. There's going to be far more than what you're seeing. There's going to be far more on your own home turf, wherever you may be. There will be stuff, and you've got to be careful. You should live your life the way you want to live your life, but you've got to keep it in mind that there are people who will give their lives to take yours. And some of them will do it in the most barbaric fashions. So, John Carpenter, ace movie maker, master musician, Anthology II, yeah, get it, but it is just an annex to the originals. It doesn't better them. It's just, no, I fancy something different, and it's a little smorgasbord of, you know, alternate mixes. Put that on just for a change, but in all honesty, stick with the originals. They're still the best, and he will not better those. Folks, I have been on Shabby Kilt-Man. Second time round now. Please be safe, and be safe, be aware, be alert, because I'm gonna see you all. Laters.